showing you two ways to clean your brushes. First up, the quick way. For this, you're going to need an empty Fix Plus bottle and MAC brush cleaner. And basically what you're going to do is take your empty Fix Plus bottle and pour some of the MAC brush cleaner into it, and we're going to use this to just kind of spot clean our brushes. I do this a couple times a week when I don't want to just do a deep clean on my brushes or I don't have time. So first up, I'm going to show you how to use it on a beauty blender, because the sponge is touching your face a lot. It can harbor bacteria from your face, and we want to keep this clean. So basically, I'm just spraying the dryish sponge in all of the places that are covered with makeup with the brush cleaner in the Fix Plus bottle. Then I'm going to run it under the water, kind of give it a squeeze, work that product around in there, start breaking up the makeup that's in there, and you can see the foundation just being squeezed out. So just work it around. And then we're going to give it another dosing of the brush cleaner. And I learned to do this while I was working on set as a makeup assistant, and I would clean brushes in between models and sponges in between models, and my hand would hurt a lot. So now you can see, now that I've wet the sponge, even more makeup is coming out. And I like to rinse the sink, especially because I have a white sink, because the makeup will stick and can possibly stain. So I just am always kind of squeezing and cleaning at the same time. So I'm just rubbing in the areas where the makeup obviously is most concentrated. And you can see, though, beauty blenders will get stained. It's normal for there to, it looks like there's leftover product, but the water's running clean, so that means that you've gotten the beauty blender clean. And now I'm just going to demonstrate what it looks like doing it on a brush. So this is just a dirty brush, so I'm kind of getting it nice and wet, and then using a paper towel to brush it off on, so you can see all the product coming off. And the trick about this is the brush cleaner will dry, so using it on a brush like this, it'll dry off. That's why I'm not wetting the brush with water, because then you won't be able to use it. So now you can see I'm doing a second round and the brush is pretty much clean. And if you just set that out in a couple minutes, it'll be ready for you to use. It won't ruin your product or anything. Here I'm showing you this foundation brush is really, really dirty, and I actually had to spray it 4 times. And so if you maintain good cleaning habits, you won't have to do it this many times. You'll do it like the other brush where I just did it twice and the brush was clean. But this was a little bit more heavily saturated with foundation. And I'm just showing you all the different stages. We don't just use brushes and sponges. We use palettes and spatulas, and those need to be cleaned too. So I use 99% alcohol. You can use 91, which is what's sold at the drugstore. And I just put it in a spray bottle and spray all of my metal tools. I use this on my micro derm roller as well. But you just clean it off and let it dry. So now for the long way. Currently I'm using Dr. Bronner's Castile soap, but I have used olive oil and dish soap mixed together. So those are all my dirty brushes. Dirty sponge again. And I do a deep clean, if I'm being honest, every month and a half. I've had some recent breakouts, so I'm like, what a perfect time to clean all my stuff up. Anyway, so this when I'm doing the long way with the sponge, I do wet everything first and then squeeze the Castile soap onto it, and then just keep squeezing it out underneath the water until you see the water run clear from soap and from makeup. As I was saying, it's really important to, oh well, I can see a little stain right there, so I'm going to see if I can get it out. It's really important to deep clean your brushes and sponges every once in a while, because if you notice that your makeup is starting to look muddy or it just doesn't look true colored or you're breaking out, it's because your tools probably need to be cleaned. So just keep squeezing. Once it runs clean, squeeze all the water out and then let it dry, and those stains were just staying. So like I said, I wet the brush first, just a little bit, and then squeeze some of the soap on it, and then I'm going to use my hand to agitate and create a foam and really work all of that product out of the brush. And then I just hold it under the water and kind of rinse it out, and then once it's running clean, I will shape it and wring it out. So I'm just showing you with a different brush. And if a brush isn't super dirty, it's going to give you a really nice lather right away. Like this brush was pretty clean, so you can see that it's like creating a huge lather right away. And that lather, the foam is mostly white. And then just rinsing off. As always, squeeze out the excess water, kind of shake it out, and then reshape your brush. And it's normal to have some shedding. It's totally normal. For smaller brushes, I will do 2 at a time because I just don't have time to do each little eyeshadow brush 1 at a time. I lather them up together and then I shape them separately. You're going to see with this brush, I use this brush for setting powder, and this one was pretty dirty. You can see I keep trying to lather it and I'm barely getting anything out. Like there's no lather at all, which means I need to rinse it off and then add more soap. And just keep doing that until you get a lather that's clean. And here I go. I'm just cleaning all my brushes in super high speed. This actually took me only about 10 minutes for my personal brushes. When I was doing makeup, obviously I had more dirty brushes. It took longer. And also a note, if you're using a lot of bright colors, wash them soon or the fibers will get stained. And then it's really important, clean, 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 because makeup will stain whatever you're washing it in. So I just clean up, and then I usually leave, when I do a deep clean, I leave them out to dry overnight on a towel in a place that's well ventilated.